Hello viewers and welcome back to North Queensland International Airport for the final time in 2025. Got quite a few movements in this update compared to the last couple, so we'll get started with the regional terminal. Over here on Bay 26 we have a Skytrans Dash 8 300 which arrived in from Proserpine as Skytrans 82. Just taxiing on to Bay 25 here, we have a Rex Saab 340B Plus, which arrived in from Normanton as Rex 5464, and then that will be leaving for Cooktown as Rex 5220. That was a route that I've added just to make Rex's schedule look a bit better, I guess, because it's not really that great. It's quite lackluster, I guess you could say. Taxiing in here on hotel, and we'll be parking here at Bay 23, is this Airnorth Embraer 170, which arrived from Alice Springs as top end 361. And on bays 21 and 22, we just have the two Fokkers sitting there for the rest of the day. Not sure if I pointed this out in the last update, but I've got Bay 19 added, which is for a new airline starting in 2026. Pushing out of Bay 13, that is the QantasLink Airbus A220-300 in the regular livery, which is heading for Brisbane as QLink 1889. Holding at Alpha for an aircraft arriving on runway 15 is the Bonza 737 MAX 8 in the Flair Airlines hybrid livery named Matilda. This is about to shortly depart to the Gold Coast as Bonza 1606. On Bay 6, we have an Ansett Airbus A320, which arrived from Brisbane as Ansett 64. Bay 3, we have the Virgin Australia Boeing 737-700, which arrived in from Sydney as Velocity 1419, and will be returning there as Velocity 1422. And then finally for the terminals, on Bay 2 we have this Jetstar Airbus A320 Neo, which arrived from Melbourne as Jetstar 944. This will be sitting here for a few hours before being towed over to the international terminal, where it will head out to ASJ International, I think, from memory. And then arriving on runway 15, we have this beautiful Lufthansa Boeing 747-8i in the retro livery. This is arriving from Frankfurt via Bangkok as Lufthansa 776 Heavy. This is a thrice weekly service on Mondays, Thursdays and Saturdays or Sundays, I believe. Afternoon arrival at, I think it's 3:30. This update is between 3 and 4 p.m. So that's going to be it for NQX movements this year. This year's been quite big for NQX, with me moving NQX onto the larger board, completely redoing the regional terminal, the now domestic terminal, and extending the runway and adding the international terminal. I'm looking to add in 2026 a new apron for aircraft that are overnighting or freighters as well. Probably just down maybe here. NQX has sort of naturally outgrown my room, so I might have to move it into another room in the house. give it a little bit more space and actually have the whole display together, because most of the time I just have the international board up against the wall. But yeah, next year there are 3 airlines definitely confirmed, with a couple more scheduled that I just have to order. The 3 confirmed are, as I've said, China Southern Airlines. They'll be to Guangzhou. Next is Skipper's Aviation. They're a mostly FIFO airline based in Perth, Western Australia. They'll be doing a twice weekly milk run from Perth to NQX via Kalgoorlie, Uluru and Mount Isa on their Dash 8 100s. And because that flight takes all day, that'll be an overnight. That's what Bay 19's for. And then the 3rd airline, which the aircraft is either arriving today or tomorrow being New Year's Eve. I won't open it until Thursday, because I want to have exactly 25 aircraft for the year opened, and on the shelves. Yeah, this one's the Air Greenland Airbus A330-800 Neo. They'll do a once weekly service to Nook via Singapore and Copenhagen. So yeah, I'm also looking at getting Thai Airways and Continental. They both flew to Cairns in 1989 and then continued on to Brisbane. Except they used DC-10s back then. Thinking of getting for Continental a 777-200 and for Thai a 787 or an A350 of some sort. So yeah, that's all for NQX this year. I hope you've all enjoyed watching NQX as much as I've enjoyed making the videos for it and also making the airport itself. I've got one more video this year which will be going up tomorrow, which is the collection video that will be all 25 aircraft from this year. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.